Hey everyone, Hans here. Hope everyone's doing well, especially in Canada where a ton of crap is just being poured on the population there, but certainly as in Australia, let's remember them too. And let's be wary of the other populations that may come in the wake. I hope that this is an awakening call. It's unacceptable what they're now trying to push. The populations of the West, at least those who at least have some testosterone left in their system, have had it. And they were throwing parties to the point even that some who otherwise wouldn't be found dead there even showed up. So good on everyone there, especially those who took the lead, if you will. Notice how everyone is just fine in these protests. Notice how everyone is actually even having fun. That is basically that latent fun that has been denied them for the last 2 years in these Canadian streets. And looky look, who is showing up to put a stop to all of that? But maybe it is worth asking the question, is that the only guy? You know, the face they put on TV for all of us to look at. You know, some of these slogans, FT, I guess you can't figure out. I don't know what, if they're gonna keep up the video if I just say it, so. But yeah, you're all intelligent people, so, and it doesn't even take that much intelligence in the first place, so I think we're good with what I mean, right? Is it only him? You know, living up to the legacy of his father as he is. You know the one. Is he the only one who's doing this? Are we gonna put one face on it, where there is many hidden faces behind him? Are we just going to invite one of them to leave the stage so that another one can enter the stage? Are we going to allow the theater to keep on running, if you will? The puppet show? Or are people going to start asking more questions? Also, very strange, right? That a lot of the state money ends up in the hands of one party who then just throws it to, well, as what is that guy called again? Tucker or something in the Americas, who basically, yeah, he just recently made a video that he is sending money to his, shall we call it, his ideological counterparts. That is not his to throw away there in the first place. Little Brad is having his his playthings taken away from him. Now he's gonna start flinging it all over the room, I guess. Thing is though, this is affecting millions. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being that self-centered, that lacking in conscience or conscience, what have you, morals? How many people is he now gonna try to, or how shall I look at it? He's gonna try to hurt people before this is all over. I think we understand this, right? This isn't about justice in the least, it's about injustice. That's why these types are moving. And that's why they're tossing a fit. It's the bully, if you will, who has been running around with a stick, whacking everyone that he comes across, and then someone is about to, or that is to say, and then some of the people that have been hit have come together and said, okay, give back the stick. And what is the bully going to do, of course? He's gonna start whacking even more, because that's all a bully can do, right? Stealing lunch money, I suppose, in the meantime. giving it to his buddies that support him, or however you want to look at it. But yeah, this I hope that people realize and remember to ask more questions. What's behind what? I keep asking that question. What's behind what? What's behind this guy? What's behind the guy after him? What's behind the female or male after that? And so forth and so on. How deep does the cesspit basically go? And who needs to be held accountable? There is no... how shall one call it? And most of this has actually occurred... I mean, there have been people who have been saying this for years, half a decade. Oh, it was always going to end like this. Or even worse if people hadn't shown up in the streets. It was always going to go here. And not only in one country, not only in two countries. You know, the two main examples, also the most peaceful countries as far as I'm aware, you know, culture-wise. Like Australia and Canada, as far as I'm aware, it's just... it's like they're like the warm and cold counterpart of each other culturally. It's like when you think Australia, it's you know, wrestling crocodiles and surfing. And when you think Canada, it's, I don't know, wrestling bears and ice fishing or something. And these two countries, historical wise, as far as I'm aware, they've partaken in wars, but in and of themselves are very peaceful cultures. Is that not a little is that not a small pattern in and of itself? That is where the hammer blow came first, where they expected that the people were going to make the least resistance to this tyrannical crap. This hammer that smashes everything up and the site that is there to behead. To reap lives. I hope that the rest of the world is also going to show support, and I think that there is already that in its wake. I mean, you even have... it's actually funny. You have like these multiracial coming togethers. Suppose that those, or some of those that were supposed to help act as termites to the system of these countries, actually turned out to want to keep it steady, keep it in one piece. Would have thunk. So that's nice. That is nice. Are there hidden motives behind that? I suppose for some of these groups, yeah. So be aware of that as well. Don't call everyone a friend who is in those streets now either. That would be naive. But understand that for now you're standing shoulder to shoulder. And that has to count for something. It is the reality that you live in. Doesn't mean you need to surrender everything you have to them either. Just stand up for yourself. And do it for those who can't do so yet. Like the children. Like the crippled in hospitals. Like those who have been sickened by substances that they have ingested over the last year, and you can choose to fill in the blanks there. What I'm on about. Is there anything else to be said? I suppose just keep asking questions. And keep doing it for the rest of your life, and teach your children to ask these questions. Maybe the puppet show doesn't end if you just take one puppet away. The puppet show ends when you figure out who is handling the puppets, and maybe even the puppets that handle the puppets, regardless how far that goes. Is there something else to add? People might say it's none of my business because I don't live in those countries, but it is my business because I care about people. And anyone that cares, guess what? It's your business. And if you are more self-centered, if you don't care so much, well, know that it is coming your way too. All of this fiction through systems, this fictional system that chokes everything to death. Or slavery, you choose. You choose where you're gonna fall then. Or you choose to stand. It's as good as time as any. It's not only in Canada that they're dancing in the streets now, just letting that be known. France, Italy, Belgium. I'm not certain about the Netherlands, but my guess is there as well. Greece, we haven't heard anything from Greece, what's going on in Greece. The nonsense in the Ukraine, my heart goes out to those people as well. And I know that as far as I'm aware also, that the Russian population does not want that conflict. So I'm sorry that your sons are forced to go there as well. To go risk their necks for what really? Guess that's up to you to decide. But I'm also sorry about all those people who have been living in denial all this time. I truly feel sorry for them. Because how can you not be completely maddened by now for doing that to yourself? And there's only one way out, it's confronting reality. It might be as good a time as any, right? Otherwise, these black and white pictures that they tend to show of the past, which at the end of the day I think are just to scare people and nothing else. Yeah, you're gonna be in those pictures. Except that it's gonna be, what, 2045 or something? 2040, 2045. Or whichever the date will be. Um. Can the populations of the world finally try to stand on their own legs? And leave each other alone already? Damn, just look at the mess. Maybe that's the new way to go about it. It's gonna be rough in the beginning, but things will even out in the long run. Nature always seeks balance. That is what it does. All else is just standing by what is right. And sometimes I cannot encourage one thing or the other. Always defend your freedom. Your personal freedom and those of others. Especially those who can't do it for themselves yet. And that includes the freedom up here in the head. It is very important also to start looking at what you allow your children to be taught. I've made several videos about it already, but look at this mess. It's not gonna get any better because these people decide what your children learn at school. And look what they're doing to the world. That is a very bad idea. And you might say, well, my child's teacher is a very nice person. Well, that very nice person also has to follow the rules. If they are really all about teaching children, raising them, helping them gain the skills and the knowledge that will help them in life, they will do that regardless whether they are institutionalized or not. Just saying. There's actually a lot of useless teachers that will not have access to children anymore either. Thought about that? I hope so. It's time for a lot of questions. It's time to stand up for what is dear to you. What more can I say? You all have a good one, and I'm gonna stand up for what I believe in. Bye bye.